Fire consumes the streets of Carthage. Thousands run through smoke as Roman soldiers push deeper into the city. After 3 years of siege, one of the richest cities in the Mediterranean is collapsing before the world. Families scramble across rooftops. Temples collapse into flames while smoke swallows the harbor that once ruled seas. Before this week ends, one of history's greatest civilizations will disappear forever beneath fire and conquest. Welcome to Echoes of Time. Today we arrive in 146 BC to witness Carthage's final destruction.
Yet this doomed city was once among the wealthiest and most powerful places on Earth. Its ships crossed vast distances, carrying goods, wealth, and influence throughout the Western Mediterranean. Trade transformed Carthage into a commercial giant whose prosperity amazed visitors from distant lands.
Its influence stretched across coastlines and islands, connecting cultures through one enormous trading network. Its navy protected trade routes and projected power across waters feared by rival states. Then another ambitious power emerged across the sea, determined to challenge Carthage's dominance. That power was Rome, and conflict between these civilizations soon became unavoidable. The Punic Wars erupted into a brutal struggle for survival, influence, and control. Among Carthage's leaders, one commander would become a nightmare for the Roman Republic. Hannibal launched one of history's boldest campaigns, leading an army across impossible terrain. Against every expectation, war elephants crossed the Alps and stunned the ancient world. Roman armies suffered devastating defeats as Hannibal repeatedly outmaneuvered experienced commanders. For a moment, many believed Rome itself might collapse beneath relentless military disasters. But Rome adapted, recovered, and finally carried the war back to Africa. The defeat at Zama ended Carthage's supremacy, yet its remarkable recovery soon worried Rome. Most defeated powers fade into history. Carthage surprised everyone by rebuilding faster than expected. Trade returned. Markets expanded. Wealth once again flowed through the city and across the Mediterranean. To Roman leaders, Carthage's recovery looked less like survival and more like a future threat.
One senator became obsessed with a single idea that would shape Carthage's destiny.
And so I say, Carthage must be destroyed.
Again and again, Cato ended speeches with the same demand. Carthage must be destroyed.
In 149 BC, Rome transformed years of fear and suspicion into direct action. Thousands of Roman soldiers landed in Africa, beginning the final confrontation with Carthage. At first, Carthage chose negotiation, hoping diplomacy could prevent another devastating war. The city surrendered enormous stockpiles of weapons, believing cooperation might preserve peace. Then Rome revealed demands so extreme that acceptance became nearly impossible. Every resident was ordered to abandon the city and move far from the coast. Their homes, temples, memories, and livelihoods would all be erased forever. The answer came quickly. Carthage would fight rather than surrender its existence. The entire city mobilized for war, transforming every available resource into resistance. Weapons poured from workshops as craftsmen worked relentlessly to defend their homeland.
Ancient accounts describe women sacrificing their hair to produce desperately needed military rope. Walls were strengthened, defenses expanded, and Carthage transformed into a giant fortress. Rome expected a swift victory.
but the city's defenses proved far stronger. Repeated assaults failed as determined defenders pushed Roman attackers back from the walls. Months became years. Neither side yielded, and the siege settled into deadly stalemate. As the siege dragged into another year, frustration grew throughout the Roman army. Inside the city, food shortages worsened, and survival became a daily struggle. Every meal was rationed, as supplies dwindled and uncertainty spread across the population.
Hunger and disease weakened the city, yet surrender remained unthinkable. Then Rome selected a commander determined to bring the siege to an end.
Scipio Aemilianus quickly imposed discipline and prepared his army for victory.
Training intensified as Scipio transformed the army into a far more effective force. New fortifications tightened the blockade and reduced opportunities for escape. With every passing month, Carthage became more isolated from the outside world.
At sea, Roman ships cut off critical supply routes and tightened the blockade.
Many searched the horizon for hope, but relief never arrived. Behind the scenes, Carthage attempted a desperate and unexpected solution. To Roman shock, an entirely new fleet suddenly appeared. The new fleet challenged Roman control and threatened the blockade. Fierce fighting erupted at sea as both sides fought for strategic advantage. Despite remarkable effort, the blockade remained firmly under Roman control. By early 146 BC, Rome had tightened its grip beyond anything seen before. Scipio began preparations for the decisive attack against Carthage.
Roman forces advanced toward weak points as defenders rushed to respond. At last, Roman troops broke through. The final battle for Carthage had begun. Roman troops surged into the harbor district as the battle moved deep inside Carthage. For the first time, the fighting spread through the city's crowded streets. Every alley concealed danger as Roman soldiers pushed deeper into the burning city. Defenders attacked from rooftops, turning every building into a fortress.
Block by block, Roman forces slowly shattered organized resistance. And as the battle intensified, civilians found themselves trapped between fire and war.
Huge sections of the city disappeared beneath smoke, fire, and destruction. The remaining defenders gradually fell back toward the city's final stronghold.
Their last refuge was Byrsa, the fortified heart of ancient Carthage.
There, surrounded and isolated, the final defenders prepared for one last stand.
The final battle began as Roman forces closed around Byrsa's defenses.
Fighting erupted through narrow passages, stairways, and fortified structures.
Inside the citadel, hunger, fear, and exhaustion reached unbearable levels. Flames spread through surrounding structures as resistance approached its final moments. One position after another fell until organized resistance finally collapsed.
After 6 terrible days, the battle for Carthage was over. One of the Mediterranean's greatest powers now lay broken beneath the ashes. Many survivors were enslaved as centuries of Carthaginian history came to an end. Watching the destruction, Scipio reportedly reflected on the fate of all great civilizations. Carthage was gone, but its fall would echo across history for centuries to come. When the fighting ended, silence replaced the chaos that had consumed the city. District after district had vanished beneath destruction, unlike anything seen for generations. Roman troops secured the city, while survivors were gathered and counted. For many survivors, freedom ended as captivity and slavery began. Centuries of culture, trade, and achievement disappeared within a single catastrophic campaign. Rome had achieved complete victory over its greatest rival in the Western Mediterranean. Yet even victory could not hide the scale of what had been lost. Ancient writers recorded that Scipio contemplated the fate awaiting every great power. Empires rise, dominate their age, and eventually confront decline and disappearance. With Carthage destroyed, Rome faced few remaining rivals in the Western Mediterranean. The balance of power shifted dramatically, opening a new chapter in Roman expansion. Yet the memory of Carthage survived long after its walls and armies vanished. For centuries, it had connected cultures, controlled trade, and shaped Mediterranean history. Its destruction remains one of history's most complete and devastating defeats. Standing here, the difference between greatness and ruin feels frighteningly small. Every civilization believes its future is secure until history proves otherwise. The fall of Carthage was not merely a battle. It was the end of an entire world.
If you had lived in Carthage during the siege, would you have stayed or fled?
Tell us your answer below and share which historical event we should visit next. This was Echoes of Time. And today, you witnessed Carthage being erased by Rome.